Your bar chords are buzzing, they're hard to play, they tire out your hand, and now you're avoiding chords like B and F because when you see them, they give you nightmares. So here are some quick fire tips that'll get your bar chords feeling so much easier and instead have you wowing your friends at the next jam session and turn chords like B and F into your best friends. Oh, that was kind of cute. Let's get into it. Tip number 1 is to have a gentle curve from your elbow through your wrist up into your fingers. So when it's on the guitar, it looks something like that. What we don't want is the strong angle in your fingers that then puts your arm behind the guitar neck. This is going to fundamentally change what muscles you're using. If you've got your hand gentle curve, you're pulling in towards you and you'll feel both your chest and your lats engaging to get the stability that you want. If, on the other hand, you get that strong angle in your fingers, it's just going to be your forearm, which is going to have far less stability, far less strength, and it's going to tire much quicker. Hint to do this is lift up the guitar neck. Point number 2, your finger isn't just a straight, even tube like a guitar slide. You've got joints, you've got tendons that make different bumps and shapes on your finger. We want to find the flattest part of the finger to put down. This is not the flat front of the finger. You've got the tendons running along there, pulleys going over the top of your tendons, and the joints have bumps that are larger than, but towards slightly the side of your finger. So instead of putting the finger dead flat, we want an angle of about that much, angle of about 20 degrees rolling backwards. This will give a much flatter part of your finger to be able to press on the strings. The reason for this is quite logical and straightforward. If you have a bump from the joint that's pressing one string down, that'll sound clear, but then the next string could have a dip in your finger, meaning it's much harder to press down and get rid of that buzz. Point number 3 is make sure that the joints on your finger, either the pip or the dip, the proximal interphalangeal joint or the distal interphalangeal joint, are between the strings. So if you have a string here, you want the bump of your joint to be between the two. So you'll see as I push my hand in, I find a place where that joint nuzzles in between the two strings. It can be deeper over there. Now my larger joint, this is my proximal joint, is between strings 2 and 3, or I can pull it a bit shallower and have it between strings 1 and 2. Either way, this will mean that uneven side of the bumps in your fingers can then sink in between the strings, making the strings much easier to press down how you want to. Point number 4 is make sure that your knuckle is above the line of the strings. So the string line's there and my knuckle is slightly above the line of the strings. If your knuckle drops lower down, this will then lift another part of your finger off the strings, making those strings start to buzz and give you that sound that you want to avoid. And finally, point number 5, this is one of the counterintuitive ones that initially is a mistake that people make, but if you know how to do it, it is one of the most powerful things when it comes to getting good bar chords. And that is, allow your finger to bend. If I'm playing a bar chord, I want the top strings here to play, and I want my bass string to play, you'll see what I'm doing is I'm playing there, pressing down with the back end of my finger on the strings, then I'm just bending a little bit in the finger to get my tip of my finger on the bass note. If you don't need to be playing some of the strings in the middle, you don't need to be pressing them down. So if I'm having my bar chord, you can hear all the notes are clean, but if I have just the bar without the major shape above it, have a listen to the individual notes. Only the notes that I am needing in the bar chord are clean. None of the others I've focused on. So you can have a gentle bend in your finger. This will allow you to find which strings you want to be pressing down, make sure the pressure's on them, and not needing to press down extra strings, use extra energy. If referring to the previous point of turning your finger slightly backwards, if you're doing that, then any bend you have on the finger is less in terms of the guitar neck. Because if you're completely on your side, you can have as big a bend as you like, you'd still be flat on the guitar neck. Now, we don't go completely on the side, it's an extreme example, but whatever bend you have in your finger, because you're slightly rolled back, is less when it comes to the geometry of the guitar neck. So let's put these together one at a time and see how it changes our playing. If the guitar neck's too low and you have that big bend in your finger, you're squeezing with the hand, which is what we don't want. That's going to really make your hand tired. We want to move it into your chest, into your lats. So lift up the guitar and have that pull in like that. Engage your chest when you have the bar on. You'll see I can do it clean without the thumb. All of the pressure's coming from my chest and partly bicep as well, but not from squeezing with the hand. From there, we can roll the hand very slightly backwards, find that flatter side of the finger that will get less buzzing. Then, move the finger around until you feel one of your knuckles slot between the two strings so that the strings around them are nice and even pressure on them. And now we choose exactly which strings we need under the bar. It's rare that you need all of the strings in a line barred at the same time. Usually you'd have other fingers around that mean you don't need to actually have pressure on those strings. Choose those fingers. You can then have a subtle bend in your finger that'll allow those strings to be pressed down, not needing to put extra pressure into strings we're not using. Putting all of these together gives you much easier bars. You'll find you can play them for hours without your hand getting as tired, and they'll be much cleaner without the buzzing, without any of the other issues you're right now running into. So give these ideas a try. I would love to hear how you get on with them. If you want to roast one of your friends who you know isn't good at bar chords, share this video with them. By the time they get to this point in the video, they will know why you shared it. Also, like and subscribe. I'm growing this channel as a hub for all of the guitar ideas that you need to go from where you're at to being a pro guitarist. So let me know in the comments what you're enjoying content-wise and what you'd love to see more of so that I can get this out there for you, help you get where you want to get on the guitar. Also, if you want to learn about guide fingers on the guitar and how to have position shifts that are flawlessly accurate and lightning fast, check out this video here where I cover all of the different tips to get you moving between positions like an absolute star. I'll see you in there.